I just got 3 brand new games for my video game collection. Come check them out. So the other day I received an email from Woot saying that they had a video game clearance event with an additional 20% off if I used some spring coupon. So I decided to see what they had and I ended up picking up 3 titles and a couple of Nintendo Switch accessories for my son for his birthday next week. Anyways, here's the 3 titles that I grabbed. For the first title, I actually ended up double dipping because a couple months back I picked up the PS5 version, which like I said, I don't really favor my PlayStation over my Xbox. So for $12, I figured I could double dip just because the likelihood of me playing this on my Xbox is a little bit higher. That is none other than Vampire Bloodlines: The Masquerade 2, or whatever you call it. Anyways, for 12 bucks, like I said, I didn't want to pass this up. On the front, you guys can see the normal standard artwork. On the back, we have the synopsis with a couple of still images, the ESRB. Time to open this baby up. It looks like it is just a standard picture disc release with the title of the game on the front. Nothing too crazy, but for 12 bucks, like I said, I couldn't pass it up. Now moving on to the second title, something that I've always wanted to play. Now it's a trilogy from Bandai Namco, and I've heard nothing but good things about it, but mixed reviews from this third release, making me wonder if it's actually true just because I picked it up for 15 bucks and it only released a couple months ago. And that is none other than Little Nightmares 3, the Deluxe Edition. Like I said, I've heard this is pretty mixed, but I'm excited to dive into it with hopefully one of my buddies late at night to see if the horror elements actually work out. But as you guys can see right here, this is the front of the deluxe edition of the artwork. On the back, the synopsis as always with a little bit of the special features, SRB rating, and all of the features listed below. Open this baby up. Since this is the deluxe, it has a couple of extra things for add-on content inside that I gotta redeem, and the standard Little Nightmares 3 picture disc. But I am excited to check this out. I'm probably going to try to play the first 2 before I dive into this, but for 15 bucks, I figured I couldn't necessarily pass this up. Now diving onto the last game, something that I've always wanted to play since the 360 and PS3 era, but never did. To my knowledge, it's kind of like a top-down dungeon crawler, and they finally remastered it like last year. Don't think it got a physical release on Xbox, so I decided to go ahead and spend the 15 bucks to pick it up on my PS5, which I probably will actually decide to check out. That is none other than Sacred 2, the remastered edition. I've always wanted to play this, like I said, because I am a fan of Diablo and all that jazz, so this kind of like appealed to me. Even though I never played it back in the day on the 360, I always wanted to add it to the collection. I figured for 15 bucks, like I said, I couldn't pass this up. Now, if you guys have picked up any of these titles or playing them currently, let me know what you guys thought about them. But as always, these are my brand new 3 titles from Woot, and I'm happy to add them to my collection. But as always, guys, thanks for checking out my content, and make sure to keep physical media alive.